You're watching Outsiders. Soon we'll be speaking to a brilliant evolutionary biologist about the intolerant far left's capture of academia and the dangers of allowing children to make medical decisions about their gender that may leave them with long-term health complications, including infertility. But first, I wanted to speak about the plight of the Uighurs in China, more than 1 million of whom are in concentration camps, not for any crime they have committed, but because they are an ethnic and religious minority. What we are seeing in China is ethnic genocide, torture and enslavement. It is happening in 2020, and yet the social justice activists, including all those corporate and celebrity virtue signallers, prefer to obsess about historical grievances that happened hundreds of years ago. When is the last time you heard an activist or woke corporation like Nike or the NBA take a stand against China's brutality, whether it's the treatment of the Uighurs, the imprisonment and killing of political dissidents, or harvesting the organs of prisoners? China's human rights abuses are no secret. We have known for years what the communist regime is capable of, and yet, because of their economic might, most countries and corporations are too terrified to say a single word. I'm going to show you some drone footage here reportedly showing blindfolded Uighur men, their heads shaved, their hands bound, being transported by train, presumably to forced labour camps or so-called re-education facilities. But where is the UN? Well, you'll be pleased to learn that China was the chair of the Human Rights Council vetting process that just picked the chief monitor on free speech and expression. And no surprises, Beijing picked a former Amnesty International chief who is strangely full of praise for China. The images we've just seen are chilling, as are the reports of Uighur women being forced to undergo abortion and sterilisation against their will. An AP investigation found that the practice is widespread, with experts calling China's actions demographic genocide. The AP report states the state regularly subjects minority women to pregnancy checks and forces IUDs, sterilisation and even abortion on hundreds of thousands. This is according to interviews and data. The population control measures are backed by mass detention, both as a threat and as a punishment for failure to comply. Inmates who have escaped these horror camps have detailed accounts of sickening psychological and physical torture. One woman described how women were repeatedly raped, sometimes in front of other prisoners. She said, while they were raping her, they checked to see how we were reacting. People who turned their head or closed their eyes, or those who looked angry or shocked, were taken away, and we never saw them again. The depths of depravity of the Chinese Communist Party don't end there. This is an evil regime that harvests the organs of ethnic and religious minorities held in these concentration camps. A report released last year by the China Tribunal, an independent investigative body, found that forced organ harvesting has been committed for years throughout China and on a significant scale. Allegations of China harvesting organs first came to light in 2001, after a boom in transplant activity was registered in China, with wait times becoming unusually short. The statement said Chinese websites advertised hearts, lungs and kidneys for sale and available to book in advance, suggesting the victims were killed on demand, the report added. The tribunal also found that some of the more than 1.5 million detainees in Chinese prison camps are being killed for their organs to serve a booming transplant trade that is worth $1 billion a year. These atrocities aren't from the distant past. They are happening now in a country that is determined to increase its influence across the world. A country that, through programs such as the Belt and Road Initiative, is expanding its political and economic influence and compromising the sovereignty of nations. Australia, along with the rest of the free world, must take a stand against the Chinese Communist regime's brutality. We can no longer turn a blind eye to what amounts to ethnic genocide in our time.